Hello and a very warm welcome to this Wednesday edition of Business Class. I'm Natalie MacDonald. Coming up, loved up couples are sure to enjoy Singapore Airlines' new A380 cabins. The airline's brand new business class features the ability to convert your side-by-side seats into a double bed. The economy and premium economy class cabins have also been redesigned. Travel Daily's Bruce Piper was in Singapore for the launch and joins us now with all of the details. Bruce, appreciate you joining us. Thank you so much. Now, before we get on to the double bed in business, we should start at the top with the new suite. What's on offer here?
Well, this is Singapore Airlines has done it again. They're always pushing the boundary of what they can achieve. So when they launched the A380 about 10 years ago, they were the launch customer, and they introduced this new cabin class called Suites, which was sort of a class beyond first. Well, they've done it again with this new product, and it's really, you know, a class beyond suites. In the old A380, they had 12 of these pretty large, very comfortable, fancy suites. In the new one, there's only 6, so they're nearly twice as big. And basically, they're like a little studio in the sky. They've got a big reclining, very comfy armchair and a completely separate bed that can also be stowed away so that you know, you've got plenty of room. There's a desk. It's extremely private, and just like the business class that you were just talking about, in first particularly, there's a big divider, and so you can drop that divider if there's a couple travelling together, and it does make a very private, very comfortable double bed, you know, apartment.
Well, Bruce, you'd want some privacy given that you do have the double suites now for couples. Tell us more about this. I'm not totally sure I'd be able to convince my boyfriend to take me up on one of these.
Well, look, you know, it is an amazing product, and what Singapore Airlines has done is combined this large amount of space, but as I said, interestingly, reduced the number of these suites on the aircraft, which reflects changing travel patterns. The CEO at the launch admitted that basically they are reflecting that less people are flying first class, but the ones who fly first class, they're offering an incredible experience, not just with the large amount of space, the bed, the armchair, but also all the toiletries are from Lalique. They've got an incredible array of food on board, a lot of which you can book ahead. You can book the most incredible. They have a service called Book the Cook, and you know, essentially it's an a la carte menu that you can book before you go. You know, impeccable service, great amenities, and yes, quite an incredible product. But interestingly, not with a shower in first class. They said that following feedback from customers, they weren't following Emirates, who do have showers in first class, and they don't have a bar either. And so it's really for those customers who are looking for that premium, discreet, you know, privileged experience. They do have very large bathrooms, and one of the bathrooms for the 6 first class passengers, there's 2 bathrooms for shared by the 6 first class passengers. One of them's got a big vanity, you know, sort of a makeup console where you can make yourself beautiful before you land.
So I can't help but come back to this double bed idea in business. Now, how does this work?
Well, look, essentially, so in the suite, so talking about business class now, I'm not sure if you had it on the overlay, but essentially the first 2 seats at the front of each business class cabin open up into a fully flat bed, but it's not really, you know, romantic, put it that way. You'll be next to your partner, but your legs sort of go under a bulkhead, so it is like sleeping on a bed, but it is, you know, it's not as private as the first class suites, put it that way.
So let's talk, we've talked about those first class suites, we've talked the business lay-down beds as well. Now, what are we seeing when it comes to premium economy? Just how spacious is this? Okay,
so the whole, every cabin on this aircraft has been made over, and interestingly, it's you know, it's a decade since Singapore Airlines launched its A380s, and the product back then was mind-boggling. The width of the seats, in business class, I can still remember being on that first flight, and they're about a metre wide. It's just incredible. They've refined the product, and so yes, premium economy on this aircraft, which didn't exist back in those days, The seat pitch is about 38 inches, or so more than a metre. It's nice and roomy. You have a big calf rest. You have a large touchscreen TV with the latest entertainment and that sort of thing. You have 2 USB ports. Every seat has its in-seat power. So yes, it's a lovely, comfortable product, and you also get various privileges before boarding. You can use the book the cook service for certain meals, priority boarding, larger baggage allocation, and that sort of thing for premium economy.
Now, Bruce, we're talking Singapore Airlines, but I also wanted to talk about Changi in Singapore. This is an airport constantly voted amongst the world's best. Now, the new terminal at Changi in Singapore has actually opened this week. What does it offer?
Yes, this is an interesting development. Singapore certainly has huge aspirations for aviation, and it continues to grow its Changi hub, really to amazing levels. This Terminal 4 replaces a previous low-cost carrier terminal. They've gone for a more premium offering. And Terminal 4, one of the big features of it being very new is that there's a large amount of automation. So essentially, technology is constantly moving in aviation, and so they've really implemented all of the latest and greatest gadgets. So there's a lot of the ability to self-check-in, self-check kiosks, self-check baggage. And of course, being new, there's amazing artworks. It's a very pleasant, lots of shops, very pleasant place to go, and a whole new vista for growth for Singapore as a hub.
Of course, and with that in mind, Changi really managing to take the shine away from Hong Kong in terms of as an airport destination. With that in mind, actually, we've seen Qatar Airways buying nearly 10% of Hong Kong-based Cathay Pacific. What is that about? Is this a way for them to be tapping into the Chinese aviation market?
Look, no one really knows. The CEO of Qatar Airways, Akbar Al-Baker, is a very colourful character, and he plays his cards very close to his chest. What is interesting is that, so they bought 10% of Cathay, which is part of the One World Alliance. Qantas is also part of One World. Qatar Airways already owns a stake in International Airlines Group, which is the parent company of British Airways and Iberia, also part of One World. They have a stake in LATAM Airlines, South American airline group, and again, part of One World. So it seems that that is a common theme. They also had an offer on the table for 10% of American Airlines, again a One World member, but they withdrew that abruptly. There's quite a lot of tension about the Gulf carriers operating into the US, and there's speculation that is why they pulled that offer. So in turn, it certainly does give Qatar a strategic stakeholding in a carrier that is obviously huge in China, the Cathay deal. But I think that it probably is also just about Qatar having a seat at the table with these very large carriers, and being a key part of their ongoing network growth.
And Bruce, one last item before we let you go. Amex Express and Business Platinum card holders enjoying a complimentary Virgin Australia Velocity Gold status now thanks to a new offer. But the thing that really gets me about this is, even if you've never taken a Virgin Australia flight, you can still be eligible for this. How does that work?
Well, look, this is part of the big loyalty points war battle that's going on in Australia at the moment. Qantas also has a big offer at the moment where they're inviting people to transfer points from their credit card rewards programs into Qantas points. Velocity, Virgin's one, is also doing this, and this is Virgin, I guess, his latest salvo in this battle. Yes, offering instant status with the carrier, and the perks are pretty good. To be a gold or even a platinum member, you certainly get a lot of recognition and a lot of benefits. I'm lucky enough to be quite a senior level frequent flyer with both Qantas and Virgin Australia, and it's certainly something worthwhile. I'm very lucky to have achieved that status.
Absolutely. Bruce at Piper Travel Daily, appreciate you taking the time to speak with us this evening. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Well, if you're a clumsy eater, you may want to steer clear of France's hottest new restaurant.